What is happening, people? It is Brian Alsruhe, NeverState.com. In today's video, I'm back with another do or do not, except this time we're gonna be covering the pull-up. Now, the pull-up is a very interesting exercise because there's some of you watching this right now that are going, why are you doing a video about pull-ups? Pull-ups are the easiest thing in the world. I don't understand why you're covering this. And there's other people who are going, I am strong in everything else. I can bench, I can row, it doesn't make sense, but I can't do a pull-up. So I figured I'd do a quick video just covering some of the tips and the cues in hopes that it would help everyone out all together. Now, do remember that these do or do not videos are not extensive teaching things. I have an extensive pull-up video that will help you out if you can't do any pull-ups, all the way up to about 3 to 5 pull-ups. And then I have another extensive pull-up video that has to do with like if you are in that like 5 to like 10 type of rep range on the pull-up, but you have like a PT test and you want to get more or whatever you're into for whatever reason you're doing all those pull-ups. Weirdo. So if you do need more help, that I would encourage you to go over and you check out those videos. But what this one's going about is a quick down and dirty 10, 11 points, something like that you guys can check out when you're warming up, when you're jogging, when you're rolling out, when you're driving to the gym, whatever you have, when you're pull-ups that day and you're like, you know what? I want a couple good cues or a good couple tips in my head because I want to do well on my pull-ups today. That's exactly what this video is for. So without further ado, let's go. The first thing that I want you to do is squeeze the bar. Now I know you guys have heard me say this 10,000 times, but I'm gonna say it 10,000 more because your body works like an electrical circuit. It likes to be synergistic, right? So if you can't open a jar, squeeze the jar. If you're having problems holding on with your left hand grip, squeeze harder with your right hand. Your body likes to work together, all right? So whether it be a deadlift, a bench press, or a pull-up, you will always be able to generate more force if you're squeezing as hard as you can, so do not sleep on that. Make sure on your pull-ups, you're leaving fingerprints in the bar. The second thing that I wanna make sure that you're doing is keeping some sort of body tension. Now, I don't care what you're doing with the rest of your body. A lot of people just think the pull-up is nothing more than for your back and your arms. However, everything has evolved, guys. You have to think about the fact, what is easier to pick up, like a 100-pound weight plate or a 100-pound water balloon? Things that are stiff and have some sort of structure are 1,000 times easier to move than things that are flopping all over the place, right? That's why my dead granny was so hard to carry. Kidding. Rigor mortis sits that in. So when you're doing your pull-ups, if you're just engaging half your body, the other part's gonna be swaying all over the place and you're gonna be losing energy everywhere. So what I would encourage you to do, what I used to really believe in, was leaning back and crossing your feet, pushing your knees apart, the same way that you would if you were a power lifter going for a pretty heavy bench. The tension when you're laying down on the bench and you're pushing your knees out to get that leg drive, that's the same type of tension that you want to add to the weighted pull-up or the pull-up in this situation. However, I've also seen other people have great success by just sticking their legs straight down or a little bit out in front of them and flexing their quads and pointing their toes. Either way, you're getting your core, everything just lined up and stiff so that it's easier to move up and down in that plane of motion. You're just gonna be losing less energy everywhere. I'd go right along with that. The third thing I want you to do is to breathe and brace the same exact way that you would on a deadlift or a squat. For whatever reason, just because it's a body weight movement, people don't think that you need to treat it the exact same way, but you're still applying force, right? You're lifting your body weight. It's just like doing a lat pull down or a row or something else where you're going to have to engage that force, and you can always engage more force if your body and your core is engaged. So I still want you to breathe and brace as big as you would on a squat or a deadlift. Now, for that reason, if you have the ability to, I would encourage you not to jump up to the pull-up bar if you're not very good at pull-ups. If you're good at them, go ahead and do that. You're completely fine. You know what you're doing. But if you're brand new to this game or you can't get a whole lot of pull-ups, I find it much easier if you can climb up to a situation, pull up a bench, get a step, do whatever you need to do, but get up to the pull-up bar, get in your most advantageous position possible, get a huge belly breath of air, make sure you're squeezing that thing, and then lower yourself down to a dead hang and start your pull-ups. But if you jump up, then you're dealing with a lot of other things that you shouldn't need to deal with at the beginning. The fourth thing I always want to make sure that you are doing is retracting your scapula or just really engaging, you're squeezing your back together. That's how you're doing. Now there are a number of different cues and tips on how to do this. However, I would encourage you before you start doing a lot of pull-ups, start learning how to do a little bit of scapular retraction, just the bottom part of a pull-up, okay? Because once you guys learn how to do that, you will learn how to cue your lats doing the movement instead of your arms. If you're feeling pull-ups more so in your arms than in your back, then you're absolutely doing something wrong. And just a simple cue of leaning back a little bit, change your body position is going to do a lot to help you. But it's probably the best way to ensure that you're actually using your back instead of your much less strong little arms. My little arms. All right, the fifth thing that I want to see you doing is initiating the pull with your ring fingers, all right? So when you're up on the bar, I want you to think about starting the pull with the most pressure on this ring finger. Now this does a couple things for me. Number one, it makes me initiate my lats. If you're not like a bodybuilder or a weirdo and you're just walking around flaring your lats all the time, then this is something that is a good cue to get your mind kind of connected to where your lats actually are. If I told you to flex your bicep, everyone can do that. If I tell you to flex your lats, you're probably gonna look more like me salsa dancing. You're welcome. But hopefully initiating that pull with your ring fingers will help you fire your lats, as well as, guys, when I'm doing it, I always think about trying to tuck my elbows underneath my body as I go. So as I'm actively pulling up, my elbows are literally trying to twist underneath. As I pull up, elbows go underneath. It's just gonna stick my body in a better advantageous position where I can use more muscle groups of my back as opposed to my arms. If you're staying more straight up and down, you're gonna be using more of your arms, and you can equate that if you just reverse it to an overhead press, right? If you're just pushing straight up and down on an overhead press, you are not nearly as strong on the overhead press as you are on the incline bench press, and you're not as strong on the incline bench press as you are on the flat. So as you work your way down that incline, just like on the pull-up, if you're going straight up and down, you're using a lot of arms, you're gonna get tired, you're gonna fail quickly. If you lean back, you can initiate more muscle groups, you're gonna be using more of your back, and it's gonna go much, much better for you. So definitely lean it back a little bit. The sixth thing that I would encourage that you do is the grease the groove principle. So basically the idea of this is that if you can do one pull-up, then you should do one pull-up all the time. If you can do 10 pull-ups, then as often as you're able to, you should do 5 pull-ups. So the whole idea here is that every single time that you walk past a pull-up bar, whether you have stuck a pull-up bar on the door of your bathroom or near your kitchen, or if you're at work or at your gym, or whatever the case may be, whenever you go past a pull-up bar, you do a pull-up, all right? Or if you can do, let's say, 20 pull-ups, maybe you jump up the bar and you do 6 pull-ups, and then you keep on with your day. Now you do this multiple times throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the year, whatever the case may be, your body gets very, very good at doing pull-ups. And this is one of the only ways. I hate when someone says, well, how to get better pull-ups? And people say, well, do more pull-ups. Thanks. But if you guys are always just going up to a pull-up bar trying to max out on your reps, you're probably never gonna get better at pull-ups, right? It needs to be more systematic than that. And the grease the groove principle is a great way to tackle this without having to spend a whole lot of extra time away from your workouts. It won't really tire your body for your other stuff. It's a great way to add numbers to your pull-ups without really doing a whole lot. The only weird part is that you might be doing pull-ups on your way to the fridge or the bathroom. The seventh thing that I think you should do to help your pull-ups is embrace the clock. So you guys see me use the every minute on the minute strategy all the time during my workouts because the clock keeps me moving, keeps me driving, keeps me honest, right? Just like my rest times. If I say I'm gonna take 90 seconds rest between a set or 2 minutes rest between a set, I better be looking at the clock, because if I'm not, it's never 90 seconds, 2 minutes. It's more like 3, 4, 5, 20. Yeah. But not only is the every minute on the minute structure really great, I also like to think of this in terms of like interval running, okay? If you have ever had to do a test run, now, granted guys, I am not a runner. The only time that I run any sort of distance is if something with teeth is chasing me. I'm a really good sprinter, I'm super fast, but once you get past about 1.5 miles, 2 miles, not for this guy. However, due to a lot of choices in my past life, I've had to take a lot of PT tests where part of that is a timed run. So obviously not being a terrific runner, I wanted some help for that, and I actually talked to a coach and they told me just to do more interval runs, right? So if you need to do a 2 mile run for time, it doesn't make much sense to just keep going out and run 2 miles all the time. Now granted, that will make you a little bit better, don't get me wrong. However, a more systematic approach is to figure out what time you want to run that 2 miles in, figure out the split time on that 400 meters or whatever you're doing, and then break it down from there. If I want to run each lap, each 400 meter in 90 seconds, then I run that lap in 90 seconds, and then I would rest maybe an entire lap. And then I'd run an under 90 second lap. And then as time went on, I just continually cut down the amount of rest that I had, as opposed to just trying to continually going back after it and going and going and going. I would say pull-ups are the exact same way. If you just keep going up to a pull-up bar and just go for as many reps as possible, what most people find is, let's say you can do 4 pull-ups, that means that you can go up to a bar and regularly get 4 pull-ups, but you can't get 5. And now I know a couple of you think I'm talking just about you. But nope, that's actually pretty regular. If you can get 5 pull-ups, you could pretty much always do 5 pull-ups, but adding number 6, 7, and 8 is typically very, very tough to do. But if we take that back to the running example of the 2 minute time to run, if you just continually keep going at it again and again, expecting different results, you might get a little bit of improvement, but a much systematic way would be to shorten your rest period. So take the total number of pull-ups that you want to do, break them into manageable sets, then stick those sets on a clock, and then try to continually shorten the rest periods between those sets, and you'll be shocked at the difference that can make as far as adding numbers to your pull-ups. All right, so the 8th thing that I really hope you're doing to help improve your pull-ups is getting a lot of volume. So I do pull-ups virtually every single time that I'm in the gym. It'll either be part of my conditioning, my finisher, I'll do weighted pull-ups on strength work, I'll have them in on the assistance. It is there all of the time. There are two movements that I do virtually every single time that I'm in the gym, and that's pull-ups and burpees, because I think they are two life skills that are very, very important in bad situations. I think you should be able to get down on the ground really fast, as well as get up really fast, and I think you should be able to pull yourself up onto something. But I always use those things as part of my warm-up, as part of my conditioning. It's always there, all right? And much like the grease the groove principle, when you're in the gym, you should always be doing pull-ups. Just add them into your warm-up, add them into your cool down, add them in wherever you need to add them into every single workout, and it's just getting more and more reps. Guys, they're one of the best upper body movements you can possibly do for both mass and strength. Make sure you're doing plenty of pull-ups all of the time. All right, guys, so the ninth thing that I really hope that you're doing for your pull-ups is using negatives, okay? If you cannot get even one pull-up, then the negative is going to be a massive help in getting that first pull-up. But also, if you're an individual who is stuck at like 8 pull-ups and you can't get any more, you're completely shot from your pull-up workout, start doing this, because you're gonna start forcing a couple extra reps, and that's gonna add a little bit more stimulus in hopes to get you more pull-ups. Now, much like I mentioned earlier, I'm not a fan of jumping up to the pull-up bar if you can help it, especially not on the negative. What I would like to see you do is climb up to the top of the pull-up bar as high as you can get yourself in the most advantageous position possible, get a big breath of air, brace it down, squeeze those handles, and then lower yourself as slowly under control as you can. So this principle is very similar to like with the deadlift. If I set up a 50-pound PR on a bar that was waist height in a rack, ask you to take it out of the rack, drop down for a deadlift, and pick it back up, most likely you would have a 50-pound deadlift PR right there. And the reason isn't because you got stronger suddenly, it's simply because your body will not lower under control a heavy weight inefficiently for itself, and it's going to do the same exact thing on a pull-up. So most time when you lower on a pull-up, you're just trying to let gravity take control, right? That's not what I want you to do. I want you to get in the best position possible and reverse engineer what you want your body to do on the way up, very similar to that deadlift, okay? When you walk out with a super maximal load on the deadlift and you're gonna lower it down, you will lower it slowly and perfectly, and everything will go perfectly aligned, because again, your body will not lower something inefficiently that is too heavy for it. So in doing these negative reps of the pull-ups, you're not only building some muscle, but you are also teaching your body the motor pattern that you're going to want it to follow, to just reverse engineer, so that hopefully that first pull-up will come soon. But the number of people that I've seen use this technique to get their first pull-up is absolutely ridiculous. And then once you get one pull-up, a lot of times it's just about learning the body mechanics by doing those negatives and building those motor patterns. Guys, trust me, everyone is capable of doing a pull-up. You just need to figure out how your body wants to do it. And the 10th and final thing that I hope you are doing for your pull-ups is the weighted pull-up. Nothing has been a bigger game changer to the total number of pull-ups I can do, or the strength, or just do the weighted pull-up. It is such a massive game. I don't care if you need to stick a 2.5 pound weight between your knees, strap it around your waist, hold it between your feet, attach that weight to you any way that you need to, but get some weighted pull-ups in. Again, even if it's a very small amount of weight for a very small amount of reps, it will help take up your pull-up number drastically. Anyway, guys, there you go. I hope these tips will help you out. Again, if you need more help going from 0 to like 5 pull-ups, I have an entire video about that. If you need help going from like 5 pull-ups to like 12 pull-ups, I have an entire video about that. But hopefully you guys can use this. Couple tips, couple cues. Maybe some of you have heard, maybe some of you forgot, maybe some of you have never heard before. But guys, I do thank you for sticking with me. Couple things. Number one, I just found out recently that because of these flags that are all around my gym, there's some countries that don't like other countries, apparently. And so because of that, I've actually been restricted in some countries, and some people have been automatically unsubscribed. Jerks. So guys, if you do enjoy these videos, make sure you're subscribed, turn on notifications, do all those things. That's not something I normally say. It's just, it recently got emailed to me that I was restricted and blocked in a couple countries simply because I had a different country's flag up. So yeah, not cool. Freedom, yay! Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you today. I thank you so much for staying with me. I hope this was helpful. I will catch up with you later in the week. I have so many cool videos coming up. I have like too many videos coming up. So some amazing stuff, some stuff that you guys have been waiting a long time for, as well as some pretty big news, hopefully, very, very soon. So, guys, I just thank you so much for everything you do, how you support me, the shirts, the programs, the everything. You guys are amazing. I couldn't do about what I do without you, so I just thank you. I will catch up with you later in the week. Until I do go out to something amazing in your lives, keep working on people, be nice to each other. I'll see you then.